panoramic view. We're coming up Matanuska Glacier's past. What mile marker is it? Dang, I don't remember. But we're heading into the mountains, heading towards the Copper River, leaving Palmer, Alaska. Let's see here. What does the sign say? Glen Allen is 137, Valdez, Toke, a few hundred miles to anywhere. Anyway, gosh, beautiful morning for driving. Again, squash bait with me. And man, these mountains are just gorgeous with this sunlight. The camera does it no justice. It really doesn't. Beyond beautiful. I'll make sure I get some shots of the canyon going through. We're here at the Glen Allen hub. Well, they call it the hub of Alaska over there on the building. Had to grab a quick cheeseburger in the Copper River Valley. Getting ready to head on down the road that way towards Thompson. And if we were to go that way, we would get to the Denali Highway. Been limited on the recording just due to battery life, and these chips in these phones, these processors, they get overheated rather quickly, and so it's kind of a pain in the butt. But gosh, sure is pretty out here. Look at how dense those trees are. Those little scrub spruce are just packed together. It's freaking crazy. But can't see the mountain back behind those trees barely. But Denali is that way, and Toke cut off and all that, Paxton. And we're gonna be heading that way. So what I'll do is I'll do a time lapse from here to pretty close to where we're going. We'll catch you guys here in just a little bit. Hey, greetings, thanks for joining me. Fred in Alaska. Some of that opening footage is from the excursion to the Copper River Valley, and so the reason we went, I was speaking to Miss Carol, an elder in the area there, and she had been having some issues since prior to 2019. It started before her husband passed. Weird sounds, stuff being thrown up on the roof, you know, things of this nature, to where it was easily dismissible as, you know, something fell on the roof, something, you know, what have you, just easily to just dismiss type of stuff. However, it turned into an owl and a raven sounding like they're having a conversation. Now, if anyone knows anything about ravens, they run together, and when they're near a predatory bird like an owl, eagle, or otherwise, they're trying to steal something from it. They're not having interaction like they're talking back and forth. So that was when she was telling me that was one of the first red flags. You know, sharing with me whistles, different types of odd things, you know. And after her husband passed in 2019, things progressed. This thing was coming in closer to the house. At one point was banging on it at a weird cadence, bump, 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 bump. And of course it was along a wall without a window. And that startled her to the point to where she goes out and fires a shot out of her 22 just out in the yard. She has tracks on the property. I'll be sure to put a picture of the photo of the track in this video. And so these things have been progressing. So me and Ryan went down there to take a look around. Unfortunately, the snow is so freaking deep. There's all sorts of different tracks in through there, from moose and everything else. However, there's other tracks, because of the snow, we couldn't make anything of it at this point. So we're gonna go back down there sometime in the future after the snow melts or whatever, and get a better look around. Because this particular area has farmlands all up and down the road on the Edgerton Highway. And, you know, that place there is long history of creepy stuff, from, you know, the tales of the devil monkey, just as a crow flies from where she's at, roughly 25 miles or so, is Horse Creek, where another person had shared, an elder sharing a story about seeing these things over a rise, and a large group of these things in human bones, and they backtracked out of there. Thomas, who else? Copper River Hopper. There was just a damn near endless list of activities in that area, and that's what concerns me the most. You know, she's all alone now, and it seems like the vulnerability aspect they seem to like really prey on. And what bothers me about it is, what do they gain by doing this? You know, it's almost like they're feeding on the negative energy. So we helped her set up her light in the front to where she has a little more visibility out there. But one of the things that bothers me the most is, well, she's all alone, and this activity is continuing. Like a day or two before me and Ryan showed up, she had 3 whistles come through. She has a direct vent above her stove that goes directly outside. Something whistled in the vent to get her attention. Now, there's neighbors around and such, but no one, there was no fresh tracks back behind there to explain any of this. All the tracks we found were all old, snow covered, and couldn't make anything out. However, the photo of the track she got in the same place right behind the cabin where the whistles came through the vent, that's one of the things that creeps me out the most, and it brings me concern for her. They could either be just preying on the negative energy caused by it, and that's speculation. I speculate that these things feed on that energy, because there's something going on to where they spook people, they startle people, and it's almost like they get off on it. It's really, really weird. And I wish I had a better answer for it, and for her, because this is ongoing. It's not like it just stopped because she shared the experience with me. So one of the things about that area is it's very dense. You'll see some. I took some example footage just so you guys could see. The terrain is just, it goes from sheer rock, dense woods to the Copper River. Beautiful. Don't get me, you'll see yourself, it freaking beautiful. However, this whole area, both sides of the river, up and down the river, from Cordova on up, you know, all the way on up. And another example, Miss Carol's brother, Hayden, he shared some things with me. Now, his experiences were not from this particular area. I'm sharing his experiences because they're family members, and it's I find it compelling that certain family members seem to deal with stuff. It's kind of weird that now her experiences happened many, many years after Hayden's, but yet, and still, because of being in Alaska and the proximity of the remoteness, these things happen all over the place. The only place I don't get encounter reports from, people don't live there. So, excuse me. So, what Hayden shared with me, he's the former owner of the Myers Lake Roadhouse, mile 170 on the Richardson. Many, many years ago, shortly after the place was built and whatnot, he was taking his dog out, and it was wintertime, and he takes his dog out to go to the bathroom and whatnot. They get about 100 feet from the roadhouse and back to where this berm was pushed up, overburden, whatever you want to call it. And something screamed, this god-awful scream that just shook him to the core. The dog was gone, and he followed suit. He, boom, right behind the dog. Got out of there. So that happened. Things calmed down a little bit, and his daughter was going to take the dog out. He decided to go with. And again, going to the same area for the dog to do its thing. The daughter, they both heard this weird noise going on, and the daughter noticed a head and shoulders above this berm, which was a good 8 foot tall as it was, what have you. So he beamed with the flashlight, and he got back a red and more blue eye shine from this thing. But this thing was massive. And of course, I mean, this is many, many years ago. He was having a hard time chronologically putting them in order. And there's also, I was told, of the cook for the roadhouse had seen on the backside, on the other side of the lake, saw an adult one with the juvenile moving around. And another thing that he had shared with me was hearing a 3-bark kind of cadence. He said it sounded like a bark, but it wasn't a dog barking, and it was more like a whoopy kind of bark. So he hears these 3 in succession, and across the road, there's sheer rock face and stuff and some caves up in there, and he heard 3 rock clacks back. So you get the 3 barks and then the 3 clacks just a moment later. Now, what he expressed to me was that he felt that they come around and they're in that area because the caribou migrate right through there. He says they came right down the driveway and they went across the lake going back and through, which totally makes sense. If there's caves in the area, food moving through, what more do you need? You know what I mean? And, you know, these things are continuing. You know, anyone else in the Copper River area, if you're currently dealing with things or whatever, reach out. Let everyone know what's going on. And I'm not trying to do it to like, oh, the Copper River Valley, avoid it. No, that's not it. I don't want anyone to avoid Alaska. I just want you to be aware. Certain places you go, chance of something else being out there, depending on where you're at, could be very high or it could be very low. Things seem to be more towards the fall, you know, near the muskeg berry patches and things of that nature, where our salmon rivers especially, there's a lot. I mean, the Copper River Reds are world famous and whatnot, but these things are going on, and they haven't, over the course of many, many generations and many years, they still continue to this day. They're not just old mythological stories to keep kids in line and keep them out of the woods. That's just not the case. I gave her the name of Helen, but Helen's from Chitna. Her family's from Chitna. She was sharing what happened from years back, and she was also the one that shared the story of the elders seeing the ones over the rise above Horse Creek and whatnot. And so these things are still going on. It's not some far-fetched thing where, oh, it only happened, you know, 50, 100 years ago. So it's just, yeah, it's old stories. That's not the case. There's a lot more stories coming out now. But the thing of it is a lot of these occurrences happened many years ago. Some are current. There's plenty of current ones, but there's also plenty of ones that are just now being shared that have been held on to 30, 40 plus years. It's continuing. It hasn't stopped. Now, they're not behind every tree. I'm not trying to just, you know, oh, it's the scariest place to stay away. That's not it. Be aware. Be aware when you go out in the woods. Don't play yourself cheap. You know, you could chalk it up to, oh, those are stories and people are making it up and all this and that. You can believe what you want, but it'll be your mistake you're making. Everyone that shared with me, they have a reluctance to do so. And a lot of them want to remain anonymous because of the ridicule, which it doesn't bother me. That's fine. But keep in mind, there's real people behind these experiences. They're not just some people I made up or someone else made up or anything. These are real flesh and blood people that have had these experiences, and they're not to be taken lightly. Grant you, with Miss Carol, there hasn't been anything. I mean, something bang in your house, that's concerning enough. You know what I mean? How much more do you need than that? But just the fact that they want to prey on vulnerability. So if you can ever not be vulnerable, it's best to plan that way. Never go alone if you can possibly help it. I know there's plenty that do because they haven't seen a reason to do otherwise. And hey, you know, lucky you. But you know, you're tempting fate in certain instances, and especially that Wrangell St. Elias, a beautiful place. You guys will see the footage. I think I opened with just a couple little blips of the area, and as soon as I'm done sharing these experiences, the video is going to continue with the rest of the footage from that trip. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I want to thank Miss Carol for sharing, and Miss Carol, we'll see you again here in the very near future once the snow melts. Me and Squatch Bait will be back down, probably with some other people as well. And Hayden, it was a pleasure speaking to you. I know you're no longer in the country, but it was nice talking to you as well. And thank you for sharing those experiences. And I hope you guys enjoy the footage that we collected while we were down there. Just stunningly beautiful. But we will definitely catch you guys on the next one. Oh, there's that van finally. You maniac. You left him in the dust, dude. He's driving like it's the Autobahn, because over there in his little Beamer, hauling ass down the road. This is the world famous Copper River. It's a little froze up right now. But as you can see, it is 365 degrees or 360 degrees, excuse me, of just panoramic beauty all through here. Just no matter the species of tree, it's just so thickened through here. It's crazy. We're on our way down river towards where Horse Creek is, where that encounter was shared with us or whatever. I just wanted to stop at this lookout because it's just so beautiful. This would be a nice place to set up and glass that far bank. All right, we'll get back to you here shortly. Just beyond beautiful. Just had to share that. So we're here at Liberty Creek, and we pulled off over here because we noticed the rocks back here. So I figured before we just zipped on by in the car and come and get a look-see up and down the creek here. Let's take a look down here first. Oh yeah, good Lord, look at how beautiful that is, man. Look at that crystal clear water. You can see to the bottom. My goodness. Man, lived here my whole life. This never gets old. Just the sheer beauty of where we live up here is just awe-inspiring. Trying to get to a vantage point to see the rocks over here. Just and the trailhead to Liberty Falls is just back up the road a little ways there. There's waterfalls back in there, but the snow is deceivingly deep. But yeah, what a beautiful place. Copper River Valley, Alaska. All right, we'll catch you down the road here. Yeah, we're coming through the canyons here on the way to Chitna, and we turned around so I could start filming from the beginning because it's so beautiful. It didn't dawn on me until we're damn near a mile down through here to maybe I should be recording this. Just more of Alaska's natural beauty is just let me hold the camera still here. Only reason we're going a reasonable speed is because I'm recording. It would in the potholes, otherwise it's the Autobahn. Skeet skirt. 3 Mile Lake. Yeah, it's just gorgeous through here, dude. You know, know everyone brags up the scenic byway going down to Kenai, which it is beautiful. I'm not knocking it, but there's other places that are just as beautiful and awe-inspiring as with that beauty. Like this place, I mean, goodness gracious.
You're just out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, we got the rocks going up. It's just so beautiful. Oh, they're out there ice fishing. Ice fishers. I guess you gotta have something to do to stay busy. And this is just beautiful, beautiful country. Oh, some more people on the road. Even better without the power lines in the way, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little canyon that cuts back over that way. Oh, dang, burn. Jeez, right when I was getting to the good stuff. Oh, and then you got the taller mountains of the Rango St. Elias peeking out. And the vegetation is still pretty dense down here low. What do we got here? 1 Mile Lake. Here's a 1 Mile Lake. Oh, that'd be a fun sledding hill, huh? Oh, ride that chute down.
There you go.
The ride down isn't the problem, it's the stop at the end. It's got some problems with. You would need a very long distance to slow down. Well, this person's got a good spot. I don't like it right on the road, but still. Sorry, I hope I'm not getting everyone motion sickness by randomly sweeping the camera one way or the other.
Put that image stabilization to the test.
It's on. Yeah, oh, yeah, make sure it's working. Oh, that's a nice little cabin there. I don't know if you noticed, but the last group of people we passed were really looking because they could see me holding the camera. They're probably, what the hell is that guy doing? Weirdo. Probably thinks I'm a tourist. Yeah, we saw some weirdo down Chitna. He's holding a camera like an idiot. We should be coming into Chitna any time now. Yeah, looking a little more civilized compared to what it's been. And there we are. And there's the post office. Oh, hey, liquor store. Gonna have to stop by there. Oh, look at that old cabin. Another old shop of some kind. They got some old structures back up in here. It's just really interesting if they could talk. I mean, look at the age of this building, this yellow building coming up. That's turn of the century carpentry right there. Hardly any drip edge on the roof line. Little tiny windows. I bet the ceilings are like 6.5 foot, huh? Is what I'm guessing. Alright. I do believe we're coming to the bridge somewhere in here.
This is the end of the road.
Is this the end of the road? I thought there was a bridge across McCarthy. Campground 1 mile.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're O'Brien Creek. Let's see here. You guys are getting a little bit of a tour. Oh, look at those mountains back in there. Just goodness gracious. Look at all that virgin snow. Why hasn't someone torn that up with a snow machine? Dude. Yeah, there's a store over there. I wonder.
Here we go. This will be fun.
McCarthy. Now it's getting interesting. Hey, here we go. We can squeeze through there. Wow, it's just, man.
Look at how it opens up.
Yep, just opens up. Mountains in the background. We should be getting to that bridge that crosses the Copper River here. So that area of Horse Creek would be just south of us here, somewhere down this way. You can, those who are interested could Google map it or Google Earth it from the current village of Chitna.
Might be able to see
there's
it
the
here.
bridge.
Yeah,
here's the Copper River. So I remember just offhand on the map, it's not too far below. It's like 1 or 2 cuts back. That's Horse Creek. So somewhere back on one of these plateaus, you can continue.
Okay.
Somewhere on one of those plateaus back there is Horse Creek, where those elders were sharing, going back up there and spotting and hearing weird sounds over the rise, and they went and looked, and